Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm sitting in my new car. I've actually had it for about 48 hours now, and I just wanted to get used to the car and find out a bit more about the car before I'd done a video on it. Otherwise I would have been there playing with things and not talking and not knowing what things did. So I've given it 48 hours just to get used to the car and find some of the features. And I'm absolutely loving the car. Okay. This particular model, it's the BMW X1. It's the 2-litre diesel, sport, and it's got the Xdrive. So it's got 4-wheel drive or rear-wheel biased, 4-wheel drive basically. So on normal driving conditions, you've got 60% of power going to the rear, 40 to the front, and there's sensors on each wheel. So if one loses traction, it can divert power to the three that have got traction to ensure that you can go. And I've actually taken it down on the beach onto the sand, soft wet sand, and people were looking at me as if I was mental, because you know there was people sat there in their jeeps and things thinking, what's he doing? But the car handles really well even on sort of wet loose sand. I don't know how it would cope on dry sand, which is obviously very loose and quite easy to get dug into, but maybe that's something I'll try in the summer. At the moment I don't really want to ruin a brand new car, so it was more of a test for me to see what it done on the sand really. But the 4-wheel drive system seems to work really well, and I'm really pleased with the car and overall. And as I say, this is a brand new one. It's a 2019 registered, so it's a 19 plate, and it's got lots of toys and gadgets. I'm going to go through some of that with you now. And I wanted to do the outside, but I don't know if you can see, we've got a bit of a storm in Cornwall at the minute. I don't know if you can see the waves down there on the beach, and it is absolutely blowing a hoolie out there. And I'm going to have to go somewhere else where I do the outside talk, because you wouldn't be able to hear me over the wind noise. So and there is a couple of features on the outside I want to talk about, including the folding mirrors. I did get them as an optional extra. It was £190. Sorry if anyone's watching this from overseas, I'm talking in pounds sterling because it's what we use in the UK. There's not a great deal of difference in interest rates now anyway, so when I say £190, you're probably looking at $200, that sort of thing, so there's not a great sort of deal of difference. Yeah, so I've got the folding mirrors, and there's a lot of people saying that they don't fold through the key fob. Well, they do, but I think people aren't doing it right, or I don't know. I actually found it out myself when obviously it works from the buttons down here. The mirrors fold, you press the button, they fold in, and that sort of thing. And it was one of the things, but when I was picking the car up, I saw someone pull up in their X1, and when he got out and locked it, the mirrors folded in, and I thought, well, mine's not doing that, why? So I actually asked the dealer, how to fold them with the key fob. And you press it once to lock it, press and hold it again, and it folds the mirrors. And yeah, I didn't know that, and I wouldn't have found that out, to be fair, because even people on the forums and on Facebook don't know how to fold the mirrors through the fob. So I'm glad I asked, really. So what I'll do is we'll talk more about the inside and a bit more about the car, and then I'll go find somewhere a bit more shielded from the wind and we'll have a look at the outside and some of the extras I put on. And it's actually a really nice looking car from the outside, so yeah, so let's have a quick look at the inside. Right, so this is the inside. As you can see, one of the options I went for was the upgraded sat-nav, so that's the 8.9-inch screen, and that also comes with a head-up display with that as well. So the kit comes with the upgraded screen, it also has European maps, connected drive, and the head-up display, and that's that package there. Moving down, front collision warning, you can turn it on and off with that button, hazards there. The vents are pretty cool, they're nice and sleek. I've gone for the black finish with the pearl chrome finisher there. Originally I was going to go for the black with the red band, but I just thought it would look too cheesy, so I've gone with more sleek and minimalist with the black and pearl chrome. Moving down, CD player, which a lot of cars don't come standard with anymore. they all come with, like, you know, Apple Play or Android Auto. So to have the CD player and not have to use your phone for music or the radio is pretty cool. And let's say the car comes with DAB radio, FM radio, AM, CD, any apps that you have for music, so Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, that can all be streamed from your phone without having the optional Apple CarPlay. So anything Bluetooth on your phone, you know, plays music, can be connected to the car without any optional extras of Apple CarPlay. So that's quite cool. You can set these buttons here for anything, not just radio stations, and I'll show you how they work in a minute, because I actually found out that if you just run your finger over them, it shows you what's assigned to them up on the screen before you commit and press it, so that's quite cool. And you've got your mode button here that switches through, you know, from Bluetooth to FM to DAB. Power button for the entertainment system and volume there. That's something I've put on myself. It's a magnetic mount that I can actually mount and angle my phone on, so when I'm driving it's sat there and I can see, you know, what's going on. Not that you should be using your phone while driving, but it's there so I can see the screen. Again though, when you get a phone call, it's all connected to your screen, so you don't even need to look at your phone to see his phone and it comes up. But I put it there because I had one in my old car and I like it, so it's there. Right, down here I did pay the extra for the heated seats, so I've got heated seats there. That's quite a cool button. It sort of boosts the AC, so you push that and it instantly, you know, it just forces cold air into the car. Brilliant. AC button there, auto and manual, fan speed, sync, so that's for your dual zone, so you can either have it when that's off, one side cooler or hotter than the other, or press that and it syncs both sides to the same temperature. Front window demist, rear heated window, temperature, again you can have it on auto. Not quite sure what this little button down here is. I think it's just a blanking plate with a little knobble on it, but it doesn't do anything. Moving down, storage, you've got two cup holders there. Up there you've got a little cubby for your phone and a 12-volt socket. That's not actually a cigarette lighter, it's just a black bit of plastic that blanks it off. So there we go, so you can charge your phone in there or whatever. I've got the upgraded or new style of gear selector, which is cool. I do like the sleeker one rather than that big tall one, so happy with that. And this, funny enough, is the only bit of leather in this car. It's like a little rail there that sort of separates the passenger from your controls. It's quite cool. Down there you've got traction control, stability control off, your various driving modes, so sport, when you're in sport mode, down once for comfort and then down for Eco Pro. Hill descent control, so if you're going down an icy or muddy or slippery hill with a steep gradient, you just push that, take your feet off the pedals and steer the car, and the car does all the driving for you. It takes you down the hill safely. Electronic parking brake. Okay, and moving over, that's your iDrive system. Back, options. You can scroll through things with that, select by pressing it. And it's also a touchpad, so you can write in letters on the sat-nav. Yeah, communication, media, menu just brings it back to the main menu. You can select just view the map on the screen, press nav and it brings up the navigation system. But then you've also got voice control on the steering wheel, so push that. And I've actually found the BMW system really good. In my old car I didn't have built-in sat-nav, I had a Garmin windscreen one, and that had voice navigation, and I was so close to throwing it out the window, because you'd say navigate to Lyme Regis and it would come up with, you know, did you say, you know, Neville Range or something. You know, it would bring up the most obscure thing ever. But I've used this about 3 times now and said, you know, set guidance to Southampton, and it does it brings it up spot on, so I'm quite impressed with that. we'll see how we go in a few more weeks if it carries on being as good. Volume for your radio or media. Phone button to bring up your phone. That's a scroll wheel, and that will go through radio stations. And when you've got the optional head-up display, you can actually see, obviously it's not on at the moment, you'll be able to see the radio stations in front of you without having to look over at the screen. So that's really cool. Again, mode scrolls through the different media. Over here you've got your cruise control settings. On to adjust the speed up and down. You can set a speed limit for it and reset and cancel there. I love the steering wheel. I've got the sports flappy pedal gearbox, which is really cool. Do like that. And down here we've got an armrest, USB cable in there. It's a split one, so that's that. Glove box is quite a good size. I need to get rid of the manual, that needs to go indoors. There's no point having a paper manual in the car. You've got it built into the car, and if you download the BMW app, you've also got sort of a quick version of it on there as well. Down here we've got the lights control, auto, off, side lights and full, and also you've got your front and rear fog lights and a little roller wheel there to dim or brighten up the interior lighting. As for your wipers, again they're auto, but it does seem to reset itself every time you turn the car off and on, so just bear that in mind. And around this side you've got your engine start button, and also you can turn the auto stop start on and off from that button there. Heated steering wheel, there's an Xdrive put on, and I'm glad I did now because it's actually a really nice feature to have. And then this is your, I mean I can make these jokes now because I'm actually a BMW owner, but an indicator stalk does come as standard, so there we go. And that's to scroll through your menu up on the dash, so you know your average consumption and miles per gallon, that sort of thing. You just press that to scroll through. Okay. Up here, this was another cool feature, that the reason I bought the car, SOS button. So if you get into an accident or you come across a big accident, you can push that and you don't have to worry about phoning the police or emergency services, because BMW will help you out and do it all for you. Interior lighting, really annoyed actually, they're the old filament bulbs. When I paid 750 quid or pounds to have a LED lights on the front, I was a bit disappointed they didn't come with them inside, but I'm going to change them over for some aftermarket ones shortly. I was trying to find how to take off the cover on the lights on a YouTube video, but there isn't one, so I might have to do my own once I know how to do it, because I don't want to damage a new car just to change some bulbs. So, and then up here it tells you in this little screen when you first start the car, you know, airbags and things like that. I didn't go for leather. I don't particularly like leather. I like it even less when it's a £1,700 extra. So I stuck with the sports seats, which are really comfortable, and even in cloth. You know, from afar they don't look cloth, and it is a really good quality cloth, so I'm quite happy with them. And the fact you can still have the heated seats even with cloth is perfect. You know, you've got the extending leg rest, adjustable lumbar support, and that's all electric there. And yeah, I don't mind the seats. I think the seats are good rear seating, and then you've got your air vents and 2 USBs in the back of the armrest there for the rear seat passengers. So let's just, if I don't put my foot on the brake, you can just turn the ignition on with one press and it all lights up. Better turn that off, copywriting. And there we go. So far I've done 250 miles in this car from new. It had 12 miles on the clock when I picked it up. But, so that's your displays. Got 380 miles of range nearly. And as I say, if you push this button on the end of the stalk, you can scroll through. 35 miles per gallon. All my driving at the moment's been round town, so stop starting, so I don't expect to be getting major consumption. And there we go, you can have a digital speedo, go through, date, oil's fine, water temperature's fine, and that's your range. And then hopefully that'll show up. There's your heads up display. As I say, if you scroll through with that wheel on the steering wheel, it brings up your radio stations and things, and it will bring up literally everything. If you've got the sat nav on, your directions will show up in that bit as well, and also warnings. So speed limit, if you're breaking the speed limit, it will flash up. Seatbelt's not on, it will come up all up on there. So it's quite an intuitive system, really. So there's my maps, and if I press media, it brings up all my media there. If I press it again, it brings up my whole list: DAB, FM, AM. Because my phone's not connected at the moment, I've taken the Bluetooth off so I can film on my phone at the minute. As I say, you just scroll through it with that. There you go, press to select, and there's all your stations. All I'm doing is twisting that to scroll through. So the Xdrive system is really good. I really like it. And if I press menu, it brings up everything. So that's your media, your phone, navigation, connected drive, so that's got all your apps in. You can even do internet searches, things like that through there. Again, it's not going to come up because my phone's not connected, but all my apps are generally in there. So Audible, so I can listen to my word books, Weber. You know, you can do an online Google search type thing. Again, because my phone's not connected, I'm not sure it's going to come up. Oh, it sort of is. There we go. So yeah, you can do internet searches for places, and if it's a place you're looking for, like a restaurant, and you find it online, it will then give you the option to, you know, set it as route guidance, and the sat nav will take over and take you there. So yeah, really happy with that. And as I say, the other thing I can do is if I put it into sport mode, you can bring up the displays for the power and torque as well, which is pretty cool. And again, if you go through into Eco Pro, it shows you what power's going to what wheels, how much power. When you're coasting, it shows it charging the batteries. Over there, it gives you all your data. It's such a clever system and such a clever car. You know, it really is. And in here, it's all your settings that you could ever want. So if I go in there, I can even change my interior lighting. At the moment it's on sport, you've got classic or off. I'll leave it in sport because I quite like that. You can change the brightness. If you go back into that, your exterior lighting, so you can change how long your lights stay on when you get home. How many flashes the turn signals do when you tap down. It's speed limit, intelligent safety. That's going to be, you know, for your forward collision. So I've got it set for early warning. You can change that to medium or late. I don't know why late's an option. You really don't want to be warned at the last minute you're going to have an accident, but it's there. Vehicle tracking. So again, you can track the car and lock the car and things like that through the app. I'm not going to talk too much about the app, but to enable vehicle tracking, select that, and it will give you a pretty accurate location of where the car's parked. So again, handy if you're going shopping in a town and you park and you end up getting a bit carried away and walking miles, you know where the car is. There we go. So there's lots of options to change, lots of things you can do, and yeah, I love the car. Absolutely love it. Electric windows all round, folding mirror, mirror adjustment. And another cool feature is when that mirror selector is flipped over to the right to control that one, when you if I start the car, when you put it into reverse, you notice that mirror drops down so you can see the curb. that's pretty cool. I like that. And also I did pay for the optional reversing camera. And again, with the Xdrive system, it's touchscreen as well. You can turn off the lines, so you can just have the camera. You can change the parking sensors so you get more of a detailed graph when you get close to something. So there's loads and loads of options on it. And if I put the car back into drive, that goes up again. But again, if you turn this switch, put it to the left, and now go back into reverse, nothing happens. So the mirror will only drop when the switch is to the opposite side. So if you don't like that feature, you can turn it off, which is fine. Put it into drive. And, yeah. Boot release is down there. You've got 3 options for the boot. You can either open it from the handle at the back, flick that switch and it electrically opens, or through the key fob, which is down here. If you just press and hold the boot release, it automatically opens as well. So that's cool. And then put it in park, you just push that button, put it in drive, press the button, pull down, flip it over there. You've got sequential, and then you can use the flappy pedals as well to go through the gears. There we go. And the screen for the reversing camera, once you select reverse, it will either turn off when you go over 10 miles an hour or after a certain amount of time. I can't remember what the time was, but it does turn off. Okay. So that was the optional extra. LED headlights were, the sat nav, heated seats, heated steering wheel, and folding mirrors were my sort of selection of extras, which I think is plenty really. You can get a bit carried away with BMW extras and end up spending a fortune. But at the moment I've got it in Eco Pro, so you get this thing that tells you how much range you're gaining in miles by driving more efficiently. And also the dial's changed to this blue. And I think the idea is to keep that little white arrow in the middle there, just to keep it there, because as you put power down, that'll slide along the display there. If I put it back into comfort mode, it changes to like a red, which tells you how much power you're using, and then when you coast or brake, it goes into the blue to charge the battery. It's a lot to take in. There's a lot that, you know, the car has to offer. But yeah, I'm loving the car, to be fair. And what I'll do now is we'll go find somewhere quiet and I'll talk you through the exterior and a few of the features. So let's go find somewhere quiet. Right then guys, this is the best I can do. You're still going to get a lot of wind noise, but I just wanted to talk about the outside. As I say, first off I went for the LED headlights. Okay, that was a £745 extra, but not only for the way they look, because they look amazing, also for the brightness. I mean, these are absolutely fantastic at night. And there's a little light round here, and I'll put in a clip in a second. Well, I'll do it now. So as you go around a corner, that projects light to that side, whichever way you're steering. So both sides it does it. So if you turn to the left, that left headlight lights up the side of the road as you go around the bend or corner, and I think that's a great feature. They also blank off to stop dazing up drivers. So that's the first one, and I love them. They're amazing. So definitely worth the extra money. So that's the front end. It's got like adaptive front grille, so that they open and close to let air in. Generally they're shut when you're driving, but when it's getting a bit warm they open up to let air in. Front fog lights. That's the wheels I went for, 18s with the Y-shaped spokes, and again I think they look alright. They certainly suit the car anyway. You got that cool little sporty bit down the bottom there, say this is the sport model. So generally, other than the headlights, everything you see is what would come on a standard sport. Moving around to the back, LED rear lights, twin tailpipe, and you come around here, looking at the fuel cap, which is huge. It does take AdBlue as well. Lasts about 10,000 miles, so you don't have to worry too much about filling them up. BMW do that at your services. Can't believe how dirty it is. I only bloody cleaned it this morning. I'll just turn the lights off and I'll talk to you about some of the other features. So as I say, you can do the tailgate with your key. Excuse the boot, it's full and ready to go away for the weekend. So, but you can fit absolutely tons of stuff in it. It's mental how much stuff you can get in here. If I just take a couple of bits there. So as I say, I'm literally ready to go. I'm taking the car up to Southampton, which is about 300 miles away. So it's fill up with all my gear, ready to do some bits and bobs under the floor, which does open a lot more, but I've obviously got stuff in the boot, and again you can fit acres of stuff in there. It's so deep, it goes right down to the floor. There's bags in there, there's coats in there, there's other duffel bags, that all goes under there. These side pockets are absolutely incredibly deep. I'll show you on this side, which doesn't have the net, but I mean they go right down, so you can fit loads and loads of stuff in there. Electric folding rear seats, so you pull that lever and the seats electrically fold down. 12-volt socket in there. And one of my other little gripes is you'll see the gap there. I've got the seats slided forward a bit, but the parcel shelf doesn't adjust, which is a bit annoying. Warning triangle up there, and under the floor you won't see it because obviously I filled the boot, but you do get the BMW first aid kit and the mobility kit, which is the kit for inflating your tyres if you have a puncture, because I didn't bother going for run flats on this. And there's a button there to lower the boot. Just chuck my stuff back in and we're put the boot down. As I say, I mean the amount of stuff you can get in this car and still have the back seats available is quite incredible, really. As I say, push the button, boot goes back down. There we go. Go back around the front. So really sorry about the wind, guys. Demo the mirrors, because a lot of people say theirs don't work. If you press and hold it to lock it, that'll do things like your windows and stuff, but it also does your mirrors. Look, so my mirrors fold away there, and then when you unlock it, press the top one to unlock, the mirrors will fold back out again. Quick look in the back just before I finish this video off. Right, it's probably a bit quieter. I'm 6'2". If I sit normally, I've got loads of knee room, loads of leg room, and plenty of headroom. Back of the seats have these cargo nets. Electric rear windows, speakers, big light up there, ISOFIX on both seats, another cargo net. As I say, down here you've got your vents, and there's 2 USBs as well, and rear door pockets. At night, this little strip along the sides, which are in the back and the front, both sides, they light up like a soft white colour, which I quite like. You've got handles all the way around. And there we go, cup holders in the armrest. The middle seat is a seat belt that swings in from the roof. And the funny thing is, all rear seats, every single rear seat has a seatbelt sensor. So if any of your rear passengers aren't wearing seatbelts, you're going to get an annoying buzzer going off. That includes the middle. And as I say, the seats do slide. They slide forward and back. At the moment they're quite far forward, which is why you've got that gap there, which is annoying. But all in all, I love this car. It's very roomy, it goes really well. So it's a 2 litre diesel sport, and when you put your foot down it just flies. It's 190 brake horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque, and it shows, definitely shows. And so I went for the auto. I think it's the 2 litre diesel auto I think is the engine to go for, really. And the Xdrive was just for my own needs, if you like. I wanted something that, in Cornwall in the UK, we don't get snow very often, but when we do, we get it really bad with ice, and also the muddy fields and things. If you go to a car boot sale or an event which is near a field and you have to park on the field, I've come a cropper in my old car, which was front wheel drive, where I couldn't actually get traction to get off the muddy field. So, and that has happened to me more than once, so it's just for my own peace of mind really to have the 4-wheel drive. And the smart 4-wheel drive as well, so if it was one wheel losing traction at least, you know, it wouldn't just spin out, it would lose power completely, and the BMW engine would put, all the computers in the car would put the power to the other wheels with traction. So that's quite cool. Airbags all round, curtain airbags, driver and passenger airbags. And I think I've just about covered it all. So this is my new car. As I say, I absolutely love it. And there's only 2 things really I can fault, or can find faults with, and that is the rear parcel shelf. When the seats are forward, you have the gap. I'd rather a parcel shelf that, you know, was movable or had an extender at the back, so I could cover the whole boot load when it's full up. So that's one little gripe. And the second one is I think I'm not going to be able to get used to the fuel tank on here. It's about 50 litres, and with about 400 miles total range out of one tank. My old Insignia, I could get 600 miles out of a tank. So I've lost 200 miles coming to this car. But it's cheaper to fill up, but it just means I'm going to be filling up more, which is, I don't think it outweighs the small fuel tank really. But that's just my gripes, I think. And the only other thing is, you know, you pay for LED headlights, silly money to get LED headlights, and they don't include LED interior lights. So in hindsight, I should have went for that interior light package, which also gives you the opportunity then to change the colour of your internal lights. But other than that, fantastic car. So drives perfectly. The 8-speed auto is faultless and seamless. You don't even know when it's changing gear unless you're looking at the rev counter. And it holds the road really well. Tyre noise is there, but if you've got the radio on and you're driving like you normally would with your radio on, or, you know, chatting to a passenger, you don't really notice the noise. So I don't think that's a major problem at all. Okay, but yeah, perfect car, great for families as well. You know, being the X1, you expect it to be a small car, but it's not a small car. Say I'm 6'2", and I could quite happily drive or be driven long distance sat in the back, no problem at all. Well, anyway guys, that's my new car. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it gave you enough information. If there's anything you want me to touch on, or any, you know, you're looking to buy an X1 and you wanted me to go back and look at something for you, I'm quite happy to do that, but I'm pretty sure I've covered most things of the car. There's so much to talk about. I mean, that Xdrive system, the settings in that are endless, so there's no point, I mean, unless you've done a complete video on just the Xdrive system. But yeah, love the car. I hope you guys do. Please subscribe, because it really is going to help me out. Lots of videos coming up over the next few weeks. I'm going up to Southampton this weekend. I'm going to look at the Titanic Museum, or the cemetery up there. So we're going to go look at the Titanic cemetery and talk a bit about the history up there. I'm going to do a ghost hunt at Weimering Manor, which is going to be quite cool, with some other paranormal teams, and also someone from one of the TV shows as well up there. We're going to do that, and then I'm going to come back to Cornwall and do a ghost series, a series of the history of some of Bodmin Moor's haunted places. So if any of that interests you, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a good weekend.